Hi, a very good morning. I am Lakshmi Narayana, Kunta, PGT in Zoology at APMS and Junior College Garvanja, and also working as Super 60 Zoology faculty at Dupalvalsa, Srikakulam. Today, we are going to discuss the human respiratory system part 2. Under part 1, we have finished the different respiratory parts starting from the external nostrils to the alveoli. And today we are going to discuss some of the events of the respiratory system. The respiratory system in humans includes the following events. The first one is the pulmonary ventilation or the breathing, which involves inspiration and expiration. Inspiration means taking in air, expiration means sending out air, which is called as breathing. This one is different from respiration. The second step in respiration is the diffusion of gases at alveolar membrane, which is also called as the external respiration. After the gases are exchanged at the alveoli, then these gases they have to be transported to different tissues. That is the third step involved transportation of gases by blood, which occurs between the lungs to the tissues. And the fourth step is diffusion of gases between the tissues and the capillaries, which is also called as internal respiration. As the blood it carries the oxygen to the tissues, there the exchange of gases occurs between the capillaries and the tissues, which is called as internal respiration. Okay, finally when the cells they receive the oxygen, there the last step takes place, which is called as the cellular respiration or utilization of the oxygen. This oxygen is utilized by the cells to produce energy. This is the total process of respiration, and it is not simply breathing. Breathing and respiration, they are different from one another. And let us observe the differences between the breathing and respiration. As we already have discussed, breathing it involves the inhaling of oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide, whereas this respiration it is a biochemical process involving the release of energy, which is utilized by the body cells for our regular activities like running, walking, reading, etc. Okay, and this breathing it takes place inside the lungs, whereas the respiration it takes place inside the cell. The most important thing is breathing is a voluntary process, whereas the respiration is an involuntary process, and this one is a physical process and the respiration is a chemical process. Why it is called as a physical process? Because it involves the contractions and relaxations of the muscles. Why it is called as a chemical process? Because it involves the chemical breakdown of the digested food substances. That's why respiration is an involuntary chemical process, whereas this breathing is a voluntary physical process. And during this breathing, energy is not released, whereas during respiration, the energy is released. Energy is released, and this energy is in the form of ATP. And this breathing, it occurs by a number of respiratory organs like nose, trachea, lungs, etc. Whereas this respiration, it takes place inside the cell, and the cell organelles like mitochondria, etc. they are involved in the process of respiration. These are the basic differences between respiration and the breathing. And let us now move to the first event of respiration, that is the mechanism of breathing. We already have discussed it involves the movement of air into the lungs and out of the lungs. The movement of air into the lungs is called as inspiration, and the movement of air out of the lungs is called as expiration. Inspiration and expiration are two mechanisms in breathing. Let us now discuss the first one, that is the inspiration. Inspiration is an active process where atmospheric air is taken into the lungs. Okay. This inspiration it occurs due to the contraction of phrenic muscles and external intercostal muscles. What do you mean by phrenic muscles? Where are they located? the muscles of the diaphragm, they are called as phrenic muscles. We have already seen what is the diaphragm. Diaphragm and which these two lungs they are located. Here you can observe this diaphragm and it is a dome shaped structure. During resting condition it is in the dome shape. External intercostal muscles. The muscles present between the ribs on the external side are called as external intercostal muscles. By the contraction of these two muscles, that is the diaphragm muscles and the external intercostal muscles, what happens? The diaphragm, it becomes flat shaped. That is the reason the vertical diameter of the thoracic cavity is increased. By the contraction of these external intercostal muscles, sternum and rib cage, it elevates and it lifts up. Thereby, the thoracic cavity is increased dorso-ventrally. By the increase of volume in these two directions, it also increases the pulmonary volume. The volume of the lung is also increased. What happens automatically? When the volume of the lung is increased, the pressure inside the lungs is decreased. As the pressure is decreased, the intrapulmonary pressure is decreased. What happens? Then automatically the atmospheric air, it forces to enter inside the lungs, which is called as inspiration. Coming to the next process in breathing, expiration. Expiration is sending out air. Unlike that of inspiration, it is a passive process which doesn't involve the expenditure of energy. Okay? As there is relaxation of phrenic muscles and relaxation of external intercostal muscles, the flat shaped diaphragm returns to its dome shape, its normal shape, dome shape, and the sternum and ribs, they return to their original position. What happens automatically? The thoracic volume is reduced both vertically and dorso-ventrally. As the thoracic volume is decreased, the intrapulmonary pressure is increased. Because of the greater intrapulmonary pressure inside the lungs, the air is forced to expel out. And this process of expulsion of air from lungs is called as expiration. And on an average, a human breathes 12 to 16 times per minute at resting stage. Okay? And let us observe a small activity performed by me. I have taken the lungs of a goat and washed them properly under tap water, and now I am blowing air into the lungs through the windpipe. Here you can clearly observe the lungs they are expanding. This is the way our lungs to work. Okay, I think you have understood how these lungs they work. Okay, this is the way so our lungs also will be functional. And in order to measure the volume of air used in breathing movements, we use an instrument called as spirometer. Here you can observe different types of spirometers, and with the help of these spirometers we can measure the volume of air involved in breathing process. Okay, this finishes the first event of respiration. What is the first event? Pulmonary ventilation or breathing. We have finished the first event of respiration, and in our next chapter we are going to discuss the remaining steps of respiration. And let us finish this session with a few questions. During normal inspiration, the phrenic muscles they relax, diaphragm becomes dome shaped, the internal intercostal muscles contract, the external intercostal muscles contract. What is your option? Yes, that is the right option. External intercostal muscles they contract during inspiration. And the second question is, the instrument useful in clinical assessment of respiratory functions is, the first option is a spectrometer, the second option is the barometer, a spirometer, and a calorimeter. What is your option? Spirometer is the right answer. Okay, Thank you for watching. For more videos, just type Lakshmi Narayana Gunta in YouTube and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.